Well, good morning. That was awesome, Bobby.
And Matthew?
And Matthew. Awesome. Good morning. Good morning and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast. I am Theresa and I know who you are. You're an official expression of the one that created you. You are an official expression. You are a divine light. You are a unique, authentic expression of that one. That one that has diversified and multiplied and called itself life, everything we see, all manner of matter, right? All manner of matter is that one in form, that one creative impulse, that one light, that one creative intelligence, that one unconditioned love. Unconditioned love. It just is. And today, right now, right here, it is you. It is you at home. It is me. It is all that we experience. It is. So together, we create the awareness, and we help each other create that expression that is just unbridled, right? Yeah, I love that idea. Together, here, on Sunday mornings, we create an atmosphere, don't we? I hope you feel it at home. We create an atmosphere through our commitment to healing those erroneous thoughts, those old ideas that no longer serve us. Yeah, so that we can step in, so we can recover and renew and step into that wholeness which we are anyway. We just simply forgot. This whole year is about living out loud, which means fully expressing who and what we came here to be. And this month, we're exploring it in the realm of cultivating authenticity. Cultivating authenticity. That which empowers our steps into every area of our lives, right? With integrity. Yeah. Bobby, will you make sure that back door's open? Somebody's coming in the back door. Oh, it is. Thank you. But first, to live a life that's authentic, we have to first know who we are, right? That's what we talked about last week. Know thyself. We have to know who we are. And we have to know what gets in the way. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Brene Brown says in her book, The Gifts of Imperfection, authenticity is a daily practice of letting go of who we think we're supposed to be and embracing who we are. So that's the work we're going to do today. So let's start right here and right now by going into that realm of consciousness with great intention, with the recognition that we can indeed affect our outer circumstances and conditions by our inner landscape, our inner knowing. So what I affirm for myself and each one of us here this day is that everything that needs to be said is said, everything that needs to be heard is heard, that there is a great communication, there's a great deliverance from the things that get in the way that no longer serve us, stepping into that light of truly our absolute, unique, magnificent, awesome expression of the divine. I know we are indeed supported by the music, the message, the readings, the people surrounding us this glorious, glorious day in nature. It is all God, it is all good. And we will see the blessing. And so it is. Yeah. So, last week we had Mrs. Frost with us, didn't we? And this week we have Mr. Ross. Oh! I'm such a liberated woman.
You've called me that actually before.
I know,
And
I
a long
did.
time ago. It was I might have been on purpose now, I think. Yeah.
I was planting seeds. I was just planting seeds. Not that you needed any help from me to express your love to this divine woman that you married, huh? Wowee. Except for I did get to do their wedding. He did need a little help from me,
Yeah.
just to sign that certificate.
I couldn't even talk. Yeah.
But yeah, so we are so excited to have Matthew Frost here with us this morning. He's such a talent. I don't need to stand up here and lament on that because you will see that immediately, period. Matthew Frost.
Thank you. Well, going on what Theresa said, everyone just go within or look at a tree or a flower or a butterfly or something, whatever treats you good. I want to do a kind of a music meditation that I just do on my own. This is the stuff I sit at home and play with the window open and I put a little water in the bird feeder and start playing music, and there's more birds coming, and just kind of lose myself in certain meditational things that I call like a music mantra, or I call it musical sage. It's something that comes to me just as like a meditational thing, but I love to play it. And this piece is definitely got some movements. The first movement, I want everyone just to think about this mantra of mine. It's all that's winter turns to spring. Because winter, everything dies usually. If I'm from the north, everything kind of goes away, but is brought always back into springtime. We don't always see too much of that in Florida. We don't feel that big winter. But if you're from up north, you feel that very much. And so think of that and just like Theresa, things that don't serve you anymore, let it just fall away when you listen to this. And then towards the end of the piece, I'm going to shoot you with some serious energy, same piece, but after you just let it all go, I'm going to give you a little musical coffee, I call it. So just, you need to, your spirit might need a little charge. Well, thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone. Now that you've had your spiritual coffee. Thank you, Matthew. I'm Kathleen Franker, and I'm a licensed spiritual practitioner here at the Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast. And today I'm sharing a reading, and I invite you to take in some words of inspiration from Ernest Holmes, the architect of our spiritual teaching here, from his book, How to Change Your Life. If there's a type of personality that pays, and there is, you naturally want to know more about it. You want to bring it forth in your life and be in a position to reap the benefits from it. First of all, what is personality? For many years, philosophers and psychologists have discussed this elusive something known as a good personality. They have tried to explain it. They have sought to show its desirability, how to acquire it. Probably they will continue to do so, and the longer they do, the greater will be the number of explanations given. A definition which seems to meet our requirements at this time is, personality is the way a person expresses his or her individuality. Let us separate this into its key parts and see if we can reveal its true significance. Personality means the characteristics a person displays and the way in which the person shows them forth in his or her life. Appearance, speech, actions, attitude. The way that a person appears to the rest of the world. Personality is the result of what a person does, his or her thinking, emotions, actions, and with what a person actually is, his or her individuality. We are all children of God, individualizing all the qualities of God. According to this spiritual heritage, we have every characteristic of our spiritual source: life, love, wisdom, intelligence, peace, creativity, beauty, and joy. The more you come to realize your true spiritual nature, the more you will be able to let it flow through you and express as your personality. The more you will be able to show all the world your understanding of life. The clearer your thoughts will be about your real nature, and the more you will be able to experience it.
All right. Let's see here. I kind of feel like doing another instrumental for you guys for some reason. I did this one actually at the wedding the other day. I had to bring my keyboard because I cannot be comfortable without my keyboard or a guitar. I really cannot. It's something in me, especially the wedding day. That's nerve-wracking. This is not nerve-wracking to me. The setup is, the drive is, the touring, all that is nerve-wracking, the crowds, but this is my thing. This is my personality. It's been here ever since I don't know, as I can remember my first memories of trying to grip an instrument, trying to do it. And so many things in my life I've talked about many times here. It's always these creative things that I do, these scenarios that I make that hold me back as a person and my personality. Things that are just, they could be a great movie or a great book, but they're not real. And most of the time they're not real things. And if the worst thing you can imagine does happen, maybe it's because you thought about it a lot. So I think about that sometimes. You just willed it to you. You ever think that? It's like, maybe because that happened, I thought about it every day, every night, and it happened. Of course it happened, and that's kind of what this piece is here, and I played it, is Emily's favorite piece of mine, just as instrumental, and she just loves it, and so I played it for her when she walked towards me down the aisle, because she said some vows that everyone lost it. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. I couldn't say anything like that day, couldn't even talk. I could just play this piece, and it's called What You Thought Would Be a Scream Came as a Whisper, which for me, marriage probably would be something I held off a long time. I'm so glad I did, and I met Emily. But yeah, that would be a good scenario. But everything in life that you can think of, this would be a good mantra, something to just to think about that sentence when I play this, kind of. What you thought would be a scream came as a whisper. Think of things in your life that are always like that. And for me, when I wrote this piece, it was God that was that whisper. I thought it was going to be some scream in my life to get very spiritual, but it actually came like a whisper, and I feel like that's the Spirit whispering to you, not screaming, you know. So check this out. This is this little piece of mine. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Wowie, zowie, huh? Golly, Matthew, just so beautiful. Thank you, sweetie. I really want, I truly want each one of us to know who we are, what we're here to do, and what our gifts are, like that. Right? Like that. I have an affirmation. I'm going to ask you if you can follow it along with me. Say it after I say it. I am worthy. I am loved. I am enough. I live my life freely, authentically, boldly, out loud. You did a pretty good job with that. I think you mean it. I think you mean it. We're talking about cultivating authenticity. And cultivating authenticity is not about becoming something other than what you always were, right? As little as he can remember, as young as he can remember, reaching for the instruments. It's not becoming something other than who we are, but it involves releasing patterns of thoughts, attitudes, and actions, behaviors that have become barriers. Barriers to that personal truth and power. Because we all have so much power within us that is uniquely, authentically ours to give and share, to express, but we cover it up. And last week I started with, we must be aware of who we are. We must be aware of what those things are. And so, to know thyself, we must know thyself before we can to thine own self be true. Right? We gotta, that piece of awareness, you know, somehow, every week I think I'm talking about awareness. It really is the thing. And we have to, as I pointed out last week, Mike Robbins, I've been using his book, Be Yourself. We have to do it intentionally. It requires effort. You know, this teaching's not magic. It's not magic. I think sometimes we think that. You know, it requires discipline. It requires daily practice, as I read Brene Brown told us in my opening there, so that we can indeed uncover and own, become responsible for how we show up. How we show up. Mother Theresa said, honesty and transparency make you vulnerable. Be honest and transparent anyway. I love that. There's such a gift in that, in being that way. It's just, there's such a gift within honesty itself. And so, speaking of that, true confessions, if you gave a prayer request last week, there were two. If you wrote a prayer request and put it in the box, I want you to see me after the service, please. Okay. Our culture did not teach us to do this. We weren't brought up this way. We weren't taught to be open and vulnerable. We weren't taught that, right? I taught my children that, so I think it's kind of an era thing, you know, like pre-Theresa, you know, like pre-1960, I guess. We were taught, you know, that children should be seen and not heard. We were taught that we need to work hard to prove ourselves to our parents, to our teachers, to others, to our employers. And so then we create this cycle of always trying to improve ourselves. And I ask, when are we finally enough? If that's the way we've been raised, when are we finally enough? You were enough before you came here. And I don't mean to 1131 Boulevard of the Arts. I mean in this body. You were enough before then. And there's a difference between discovering who we are than trying to become who we aren't. You hear that? At this age, we are trying to become who we are. Maybe we've spent some time trying to become who we weren't. You see that? That difference? Yeah. And I think that we do that because in some deep way we feel that we are inherently flawed. And isn't that kind of the Christian Judeo culture that most of us were raised in? We're inherently flawed. I'm sure I'm not the first one to tell you that that is not so. You are inherently divine. You are inherently worthy. But we've been conditioned to think the other way around, and we've created personas and masks and ways of coping and taken on roles so that we can get through life in that way that is acceptable, deemed acceptable, right? And so remember last week when I talked about those from his book, from Mike Robbins' book, those above line and below line things. Those above lines are the roles and the personas, the ways that we've created our ways of making our way in the world, right? But the thoughts and the beliefs that trigger those are the below the line. And those are the things that we have to come to understand them because they're creating, yes, Matthew, when we think and think and think and think and think of those terrible things, we are creating that in our lives. Absolutely, most definitely. And so Mike Robbins had this great quote, and I don't have it before me this morning, but it was something I'm going to paraphrase to the effect of our success, our real fulfillment in life is those below the line things. Yeah, if we're thinking of ourselves as success, if we're thinking of our lives as joy-filled, as loving and lovable and loved, if we're in that space, dang it, we are successful. I don't care what your house looks like. I don't care what car you drive. It's the below-the-line stuff that really tells us if we're successful or not. So that's what Science of Mind teaches. I've used this idea many times from the movie, Mini-Me, right? We're all those spiritual beings. We're all that one incarnate. We're all that expression, yet, interestingly, so diverse, right? But Spirit made us out of itself. Creator made us out of itself from an act upon itself. And here we are. How could we not be worthy? Our very life is the life of God. Our very experience is that of divinity. So I want us to have a crash course today. Instead of spending a lifetime uncovering all this stuff, we're going to revisit visioning as we did last week. I hope you all have a blank sheet of paper. Do not start. That's why it's blank. I'm on to you. I give you, when we do visioning and I give you all the questions, you're sitting there filling it out before I've even... No, you got a blank piece of paper in front of you for a reason. So, last week when I asked that question, what do you need to release? Do you remember what came to you? If you don't, you're going to have another opportunity because that's where our work is. It's the stuff that's covered up the real stuff. It's the stuff, the roles, the persona that covered up your true self. So that's where our work is. Ernest Holmes says, what stands between us and our good is a thing of thought. Always and forever, this is so. What stands between us and our good is a thing of thought. The only thing that stands between your health, your wealth, your experience of love in your relationships, your creative self-expression, is a thought? Could that be so? Well, if you change your thought, Kathleen's teaching right now, change your thinking, change your life, you will prove to yourself that this is so. Ernest Holmes, in This Thing Called You, says, there is something within you beyond all doubt and fear, something which has never been limited by your acts or destroyed by your feeling. So it doesn't matter what happened yesterday. That one, that creative impulse, that power, that presence, that source, that substance is never hurt by what you do. It's still present in its fullness, readily available to give, to give, to give, to give, to express freely, fully. This is the only something that can make you whole, he says. That thing that's never diminished, never destroyed, never affected by our bad choices, by our missteps. Isn't that brilliant? Isn't that fabulous? What a great thing to know. But we need to sometimes go there daily. We need to go there often, don't we? This has been my work for many, 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 many years. Finding the light in the shadow. Understanding what my personal triggers are. Taking inventory of my life. I make a joke, you've heard it before, that I know what my shadow is. I hate haters, right? I have a bigotry towards bigots. Those that don't accept other people, I don't like them. I don't accept them. What kind of crazy is that? I mean, really. But that's my thing. I know it's my thing. So I purposely, consciously, intentionally work on it. See them with love. Wonder why they think that way. What's going on there? What happened? Can I have compassion? Can I be in a place of love? Our shadow work, there's strong aversions that we have, and that's the paradox of life, because we too are that. So I invite you to recognize what your own buttons are. I understand what my buttons are, some of them, I guess, and I'm the only one who can then uninstall them, right? But I first have to understand what they are. Here's one of mine, so don't ever say it to me. Calm down. What do you mean, calm down, you know? I'm emotional, I'm passionate, I'm outspoken, I have opinions. Yeah, wow, when you came here, Donna, yeah, I'm gonna be that. So to tell me to calm down, it triggers me. But you know, when I'm in that space, I make other people uncomfortable. I understand that I make other people uncomfortable. And it could be people that like to be bold and outspoken and want to speak their truth and don't speak their truth, and those are probably the ones that I push the most. Because I only know that that's what happens for me, right? Yeah. So we want to know our fears so we can transform them. You know, just think about all the energy you put into your fears, Matthew. Think about all the energy you put into those stories, right? All that energy can be translated, transformed into visioning and visualizing and creating that which we want, not that which we fear. Not that which we fear. But we have to know it first. Fear can be a great motivator. I love when I have a moment to go, ooh, because it'll make me make a change. If I have a fear, that means I have to change something in my world, right? Yeah. We have to know how to deal with conflict, don't we? So we can resolve them successfully. So we can speak up instead of remaining silent and then getting resentful. Does anybody resemble that remark? Yeah. Then you're absolutely outraged. How dare they? Well, did you ask? Did you claim what you needed? speak up, tell our truth, right? And when we don't, we often find ourselves in a place of resentment. We need to understand our truth, our needs, our values, and be in a place where we can speak them. Yeah, that we can just speak them and ask for agreement on them. So I could stand here and talk for a month about each one of those things, and I will not do that. We want to be aware. We want to be aware. I implore you to be aware of everything that's keeping you from taking risks, that's keeping you from boldly expressing yourself with confidence, with great confidence. So recently, I had someone say to me, your talks are so much better than they used to be. You know what the truth of that is? Knowing my shadow, my triggers, taking inventory, doing shadow work, understanding what my buttons are, knowing my fears, dealing with conflict, having to speak my word, all of that gave me all of this. Right? So I come up here pretty unbridled, pretty confident, pretty damn confident, I might say. It took trusting myself, all those other things, trusting myself, risking, boldly declaring what my ministry was going to look like. So I know from which I talk, from which I speak. So I invite you to do this. Own these things for yourself. Take responsibility for them. Use that energy to diffuse, adjust, and transform. We all have choices in how we're going to show up in life. In every area of our life, we have choices every single day in every single way. And so much creative energy is wasted in hiding and pretending when we can use it for freedom, when we can use it for the ways we want to be, for the things we want to do, for the ways we want to show up. So we can celebrate who we are and the things we came here to do that we do, right? Mike Robbins, in his book, is encouraging us to be open, curious, truthful with ourselves first, to be in touch with all our thoughts and our feelings and our doubts and our fears and our dreams and our desires, to own them even when we catch ourselves being phony. This authenticity process that I'm talking about really depends, though, on your level of commitment. On your level of commitment, on your ability to practice self-awareness, honesty, transparency, self-forgiveness, compassion, love, forgiveness of others, to create a space of love for you to do that work. Yes? Does that make sense to you? It's a lot of work. And now I want to give a little caveat that I'm not discounting if you've had serious childhood trauma. If you have serious wounds that you are working through, I'm not asking you to frivolously drop your boundaries and who you needed to be and need to be safe. I'm not asking for that. And I would say, let's get professional help when we're in that situation, yes? But I shouldn't should on thyself with doing this work. He has exercises at the end of every chapter, and I've been doing them. And so one of them is the shoulds. Write down all your shoulds. I'm like, I don't should on thyself. I know better than that. I don't do that. Well, I'll play. Pages later. Pages. And then he's got one about comparison. Comparing yourself to others. I don't do that. Me? Who, me? Oh, let's see. Well, Reverend Dr. Elizabeth Canty that I graduated with, oh my God, she does the most incredible marketing. Oh, the cutest little videos of her on the beach. I mean, they are just dynamite. Oh, and she went back and got her doctorate. Oh, yeah, well. Oh, how about that new minister down there in Cape Coral? He's so cool. And he does these really great videos, too. Every week he puts one out. Well, you know, defining myself, measuring myself by somebody else's markers, right, does nothing to help me show up uniquely as who I am, right? I give you that example so you can look at it for yourself. Yeah. Those kinds of things just aren't supportive of us reaching a real sense of who we are. So we want to know what's important. You want to know what's important. Ernest Holmes, you belong to the universe in which you live. You are the one with the creative genius back of this whole array. God, look at that. That is in you. A vast array of ceaseless motion, this original flow of life. Feel into that. There is something. It is a great urge with a capital U. It is a passion with a capital P. It is that personality with a capital P. That which Spirit is uniquely, divinely, as me, as you, as each one of us. Breathe into that. Knowing that right here, right now, we are indeed immersed in, surrounded by, filled with that ceaseless motion, that creative intelligence, that unconditioned love. Here, now, moving, guiding, speaking, showing, emoting, in, as, and through each one of us. Listen in. And ask our higher wisdom self right here, right now, what gets in the way? What do I need to release? What old behavior, habit no longer serves me? Write it down. There is within me that urge, that beauty, that joy, that which has never been hurt by anything, that which is unique and precious, that gift, that talent that is mine. How do I thwart its activity? How do I stop it? What do I do? How do I pretend? How do I play small? What wants to freely express through me, in me, as me? Here is what I know. There is only one source, one substance of all life, and it has diversified and multiplied itself. Called itself forward from the infinite, invisible, into this realm to dance, to sing, to play, to create, to express, to emote, to speak. And what I know is we have done the good work here now. And that which no longer serves is dissolved into the nothingness from which it came. And my divine inheritance shines forth unimpeded. This I know for myself and for each one of us. For all life is the presence of God in its glory. This I know, this I claim, this I celebrate, and so it is. As I said, we're doing this work and it triggers us. We may need a therapist. We may need counseling. We may need spiritual coaching. We have 10 licensed practitioners, spiritual practitioners here at the center. You'll hear a little bit more about that in a minute. But we are here to assist in this kind of work, in examining life through spiritual principles, through a new light, a new lens, so that each one of us can become more aware of the inner states, the hidden beliefs, the patterns of thoughts that have created the circumstances in our lives, so that we can make a new plan, so we can use affirmation, so we can use spiritual mind treatment, so we can say, repeat after me with the greatest of authority, I am worthy. I am loved. I am enough. I live my life freely, authentically, boldly, out loud. Woohoo! Yeah. All right. That's right. So it is. Before I step away, I have two things I want to do that I was remiss on last week. Dan Beswick is standing there in the back of the room. Dan is my new administrator. Oh, yay! 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 Oh, my God, I kneel before you. I love you. Yes, we inherited Dan with the merger of CSL Sarasota, but that doesn't just mean that I took him on willy-nilly, right? Dan and I go way, way, way back to before he was even working for CSL Sarasota. So I'm just so grateful, very excited about that news to share with you. The other piece of news that we had agreed upon during our merger was that we would bring someone from the CSL Sarasota board onto our board. We have done that. Jerry Bateman, right there she is. Woo-hoo! Jerry is our new secretary. So when we did this little shift this month, we took Jerry and put her in the secretary position. We took our secretary, Jennifer Johnston, and moved her into the president's position. We moved Ron from the president's position over to treasury, and we moved Rev G, Emile Gavreau, Reverend Emile, over to vice president. And let's see, come November, Hector and Elaine will have served 2 terms on our board, so they'll go off and we'll have space for someone else new again there. But so be thinking about it. You got till November. But anyway, I wanted to take that opportunity to introduce them, and you should introduce yourself to them. And Matthew, what you got for us? You got a song? You got something that's, I went long. I'm sorry. I went long. But we got a song, and then we got some more stuff.
All right, I'm going to try to sing one now. Sound check, I was like, oh boy. This one, when did I write this? What does it say? September 29, 2018, wrote this song. I call it Soulmate. also could be called I Found Grace. There's a couple of things at the end. If you hear me saying, you can repeat with me, because I'm going to keep saying, I found grace. My soulmate, I found grace. Soulmate's a funny term. It's been cliched a lot in movies now and all that. And this particular song that I wrote is about Emily. It is about a person that came literally through my front door to record with me. I'm a studio engineer, and we met just like as professionals recording an album, and it was definitely divine. She walked into my life at that very moment, and so I wrote this song about that. But there's another soulmate song from a modern artist called Lizzo, and she's awesome, and she's great singer, and just came on the scene recently. And her soulmate, I love this, on her album, I forget exactly what she says, but she's her own soulmate. She had a really hard life, grew up in Detroit area where I'm from, but I was outside of Detroit. She was like in the inner city part, and was homeless, and she's had so many obstacles against her. And she wrote her first album, went, I don't know, probably like 20 million sales or something. But soulmate, I love that, how she says she's her own soulmate. She found herself, and that's so cool too. So this song could be looked at either way. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you again, Matthew. Now we come to the time in our service where we have the opportunity to give back where we are spiritually fed, where we get to recognize our oneness with God and activate the law of circulation, receiving and giving, giving and receiving. And there are many ways to do this. We'll have someone passing a basket here at the Garden Center. Those of you joining online, we have that information now scrolling on screen for you. And also we have, you can take advantage of your automatic payment through your own online banking. However you are participating today in the spiritual practice of giving and receiving, I invite you to know this with me as you do. My gift goes forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper. And the divine mind returns it to me multiplied abundantly. And so it does, and so it is. Thank you so much for your support. Bobby's now going to lead us in our offering affirmation.
Unmute. Please join in. I receive the gift of life and pass it on. I receive the gift of love and pass it on. I receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good and pass it on. I receive the gift of life and pass it on. I receive the gift of love and pass it on. I receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good and pass it on.
All right. We are going to ramble through our announcements really quick because there's 4 of us doing announcements. So, Hector, we are going to rattle through. So, if you've been enjoying Matthew and you enjoyed Emily last week, you have an opportunity to hear more of them this afternoon out at our Sacred Garden. There's this flyer out on the table there that'll give you information on it. But this is a fundraiser for the Sacred Garden and also Global Tree Lovers. And many of you know naturalist Annie Cedarberg. She does just such a beautiful job every time she does some function with her stories about nature connection and spirituality. There's also animal communicator Mary Getton there, and music of the plants presented by Beverly Templeton, and also Frankie and Diana are going to be there with a song this afternoon. So 4 o'clock, this is out in Burns Court. If you need the address, you can talk to me. And then next Saturday, this is really exciting. Melissa and Z Egloff, they are both Reverend Dr. Melissa and Z. They are ministers, traveling ministers, musicians, spoken word artists, incredible bluesy voice out of Melissa. She's a powerhouse. And we're having a house concert at Camille's house. So there's Camille back there if you want any details, but there's flyers on the table over here. That's in the Southgate area. So that is 6 o'clock Saturday. Bring a dish or drink to share, and then the music starts at 7. That's awesome. And come on. Oh. You can't talk from there? No. So Sunday, Satya's doing a workshop for us. So tell us a little bit about that next Sunday.
Next Sunday, I'm here to encourage you to come out and be authentic. This is a chance to really be authentic. You know, we can talk about it, we can read about it, we can know everything, but this is your time in action. And I just wanted to share that my business for years was called Take Action Training. I'm a psychodramatist, I'm a psychotherapist, on, corporate trainer, but not until I took my first improv class at Florida Studio Theater about 15, 17 years ago did I really put it in action. Because you have to leave your ego at the door. All this stuff we talk about, leave your ego at the door because there is no judgment. You get to learn how to speak on your feet. How many people want to be more authentic? Right. Well, we all know that that's what we're supposed to do, but this is your opportunity to do it. This is your opportunity to have more spontaneity. How many people want to play more and be more authentic? Yeah. Well, it's your opportunity. You got to show up. Believe me, the ego will be at the door because I do not allow any judgment except the kind that's going on in your old mind. And we get to act that all out. We get to be fun and silly. And we get to learn communication skills because I spent over 25 years as a corporate trainer teaching communication skills. But this time we're going to do it and laugh. Believe me, it's fun. It's spontaneous. You get to be bold right then and there, and you get to be authentic, and you get to live your life out loud. Come at 12:30 if you're, late for services here, or you want to stay on and bring your lunch, because 12:30 right here, we're going to start and be bold and be living our lives out loud. Please join me.
Flyers on the table. All right, Kathleen.
As Reverend Theresa mentioned, we have 10 licensed spiritual practitioners here at the Center for Spiritual Living Sarasota. We have been trained and licensed by Centers for Spiritual Living International to support you in prayer, to know the higher good for you. Whatever that challenge or opportunity or intention that you have, we are here for you. We do that through prayer requests that can be left in the basket at the back of the room on the right. And you'll notice back of the room, at the room on the right, there's also a screen and a couple of chairs. Today, beginning today, there will be a practitioner of the day who will be situated there and able to meet with you one-on-one prayer support, affirmative prayer support, for any intention or challenge that is up for you. Today I'll be that practitioner, but you'll see a rotation of others through that space, and we really hope that you take advantage of that. The other thing I wanted to mention, as always, check out our Facebook page and our YouTube channel, and also sign up for our newsletter on our website. Thank you so much.
And Hector.
All right. Good morning. Namaste to all. So, we are going to be having a really big event here on Sunday, April 23rd. It is Theresa's ordination ceremony. You got to be here. Okay, it's called Experience Expansion, and these flyers are on the table over there. So, keeping with the party animals that we are, we're going to have food trucks, high vibe music featuring Eddie Watkins Jr. Yeah, he's a former Motown guy, right?
Yeah.
Motown. We can all relate to that. Matthew Frost will be here.
Whoop, whoop.
Fire dancers.
Yeah.
And
For real.
you gonna fire dance, Matthew?
Yeah.
And more. So this is on Sunday, April 23rd, starting at 11 right here. Also, we have, we're asking for sponsorships for that event. It is a love offering, so there's no fee to anyone. But if you feel so compelled, I've already received a sponsorship this morning from a few people, a couple of people. So it's right here on this flyer. It tells you what level of sponsorship. It starts at $250. So whether it's yourself or your company or anyone that wants to be involved, that wants to sponsor the event, talk to me. If you've got a check today, talk to me. And we can have a really wonderful event. Thank you.
All right. So much good going on here. Matthew, I want to thank everybody for being here, first off, and come talk to me afterwards. Matthew, why don't you just show us your magic again and play something for us to
Thank you
party
so much.
on.
Thanks for having me today, and come see it, the Sacred Garden show. Me and Emily will be doing our thing together with our harmonies, and we actually have a Fogartyville show coming up March 31st. I believe it's next Friday. Yeah, this Friday. It's coming at you, and we're opening for Rebecca Pulley, and it's just this radio station live thing over here, right down the road. I believe you got to get tickets for it, and it's pretty limited, so check it out. Rebecca Pulley's awesome, where it's an honor to open for her, and then we're going to do our thing. It'll be fun. So come see us today, too, though. And I just want to say that I always feel so good here. This is, I don't know how many times I've played here, but it's been a lot. It's so good to see you all today. My first one back, I played before the COVID bubble thing, but I remember just not that long ago now, last year, at some point, nobody was here. I mean, there was a couple people, and I was, we filming it for everyone and doing that, and I was one of the first people to come back after so long. And I just want everyone to give Theresa and Bobby a hand for doing that for us for so long, and just work. Thank you. Yeah. And just keeping it going, because now it's so great. There's been a merger. See all these people here. Makes me feel so good. And man, I was just setting up today, and I was smiling ear to ear. And I woke up, I'm always tired. I'm a night owl, so I'm always tired of these morning things like this. But I'm just smiling. I don't even know why. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm just goofball over here just smiling. It's because you all have such good energy. It just radiates. Like I'm over here setting up, not even looking at you guys, trying to focus. But I'm smiling because you're all bringing your good energy here. I so appreciate you for doing that. So give yourselves a hand for being here today, giving your beautiful energy to everyone else. This song goes out to the whole congregation here, all the people. I wrote this as just a fun song, and I really need some help on this one, if you dare, because it's an original. I usually do something you might know. It's called Without Your Love, and I need you to sing that for me, because the whole point is without each other, without the community, without like these practitioners, you may say, or some friend, something that pulls you up, like Theresa said, out of the dark into the light. Without your love, we may be so lost. I would be so lost. You guys give me strength. I think of this place when I feel like Theresa, when I hate the haters, when I hate the bigots and all that. I think of this place and I think, but there's a better place. So sing this with me if you can. It's just going to come and you'll be like, without your love. It's kind of a call and response. You'll sing, without your love, when it comes in the chorus, and then I'll answer, and then you'll do something, something. But you'll get the point after a while. It's pretty repetitious, but check this song out. It's very simple. I just play it for myself usually when I need it. Check it out.
Searched low and high. put myself in danger. I tried my way, but I have always come up empty without your love. I will surely die without your love. I would be so blind without your love. I could not carry on without your love. I could not sing this song without your love, love. I would be lost. Too many times I looked, but I never found an answer. I searched low and high for something that I could not reach. I tried my way sometimes, and I put myself in danger. Well, I tried my way, but I've always come up empty without your love. Oh, I will surely die without your love. Yeah, I would be so blind without your love. I could not carry on without your love. Yeah. Oh, I could not sing my song, yeah, without your love, Lord. Well, I won't be lost. Sing it again. Without your love, well, I will surely die without your love. Oh, I would be so blind without your love. I could not carry on without your love, Lord. I could not sing my song, yeah, without your love, without your love, yeah, without your love, love, yeah, I won't be lost. Look at somebody. Without your love, I will surely die. Without your love, yeah, I would be so blind. Without your love, I could not carry on. Without your love, without your love, without your love, yeah, I would be so lost. Without your love, I would be lost. Without your love, yeah, I would be so lost.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Good singing. Thank you. You have a great week. Yeah.